Love to read your tweets. I love social media. It's the best.
Oh, yeah.
Everything everybody says on the internet is so positive and happy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
All the time.
All of it.
Alright, here it is. Sprayquaza versus Shadow Nexus's care package. Tell me, who has the upper hand? Who do you think will win?
Sure. So I think that neutral rune is really good versus Haven. Burn rune can suffer a little bit because it does have some things that can get banished, such as Magic Illusionist. That might hurt it a little bit. But this is just aggro versus control. It really depends on if the aggro can push or if the control can stop the beats. What do you think about this matchup, Envy?
I think Carrot is in a pretty good spot. Those two draws make me redact that almost immediately, but Carrot was in a,
right.
a good spot before. Being on the play is where you want to be, but that Halo Golem's just going to get nommed, and then I think March Hare's Tea Time probably closes this out, actually.
Yeah, March Hare's into Dark John. Basically, everything in the hand of Care Package right now actually just straight up dies to Dark John, except for the Master Mage Levi. I mean, and like you said, the Halo Golem is going to get taken care of before that, so we'll see how this plays out. This should be fun.
He does have double Dwarf Alchemist. I mean, I guess he can just get some Earthrights going, so there will be some face damage, but Sprayquaza made sure to stop me before I even mentioned that by drawing a Curate. So he actually has the 4, 5, 6, 7 to stop Burn Rune.
Yep, has the Blackened Scripture just in case too to clear out a multiple follower board here, which there will be. And then, like you said, Sprayquaza is sitting over there with a bunch of 2-for-1s in his hand. Like you said, you've got Priest of the Cudgel into March Hare's Tea Time, into Dark John, which could possibly do more than a 2-for-1 depending on the board state, and then Curate to follow up just to gain life back in case he gets into a hairy situation.
It's not looking too good for Care. Knowing both situations, I think Sprayquaza's still just going to play completely safe here.
Yep, 100%. So Snow White doing what Snow White does, clearing out one of these Dwarf Alchemists, and then Blackened Scripture probably clearing out the other. Oh, no. Okay.
Ooh. Just plays the other one. It's kind of interesting to see Snow White just trade. You know, usually you don't see her go for a 1-for-1 against a 2-drop, which would be an equal trade. But I guess he opted to do it just to slap down the other one. He does have Cudgel next turn, so it's not like Care can develop anything that matters, so...
Making this play does essentially say, hey, Care, I don't mind that you deal 2 extra damage to me this game, which generally when you're playing control, you don't want to let your opponent deal extra damage to you if you can help it, but developing the Snow White will advance his board state in such a way that maybe he can start getting aggressive if he wants to.
It also might fake Care into thinking that Sprayquaza doesn't actually have that good of an option in his hand to get rid of that, but we know.
We definitely know. And that Heavenly Hound is pretty good too for next turn, with the Snow White potentially getting evolved for free, or the March Hare's Tea Time, which we know is going to get played next turn, almost assuredly.
The Doggo will be interesting to play. He could use it as an alternative along with Blackened Scripture instead of Jun on 6. But this is kind of where Sprayquaza's sort of taken over the game is going to start happening. Like, this is just... These next 3 or so turns are going to be where Sprayquaza flips this on Care, I think.
Yep, so Care's kind of put into the mode of, I just need to go face damage as much as I possibly can. He does have Little Levi to evolve here, and to get the Crimson Sorcerer in hand to burn for 3. He also has access to another Halo Golem, which can burn for 3, and a Master Mage Levi, which can burn for 3. So he definitely has a good amount of burn. But if he can't close the door fast enough, that Curate will come back to basically just say, hey, Wizardess of Oz, you need to carry this game, and if you don't draw what you need, I'm going to be too healthy for you to do anything about me. So
that is possible, yeah. I mean, he does have 9 damage in hand. It's spread out across 11 play points, though, so it's kind of like, you know, you can't dump all of it. But if he does dump all of that, and then Oz just draws the nuts, right? She gets like 2 Dance of Deaths and like a mutagenic vault or something, then he could just steal the game like that.
Yep. And we've definitely seen Wizardess of Oz steal some games, even today. Wizardess of Oz, very good game, or a very, very good card. Alright, so Marchero's tea time as expected.
And even though we expected that to come down and kill, 2 followers with the evolve, it doesn't even matter because it's now just sitting here threatening to evolve. So.
Okay, that's another 3 damage off the top.
Second Levi's pretty good, considering you can play Halo Golem, go face an evolve Levi.
Yep, I like that play the best. Like, just basically forget about what Haven's doing, because Haven's not going to be able to close the door fast enough to where it's really going to matter if you just ignore their followers. So, just want to try to end the game as fast as you can if you're in Kair's position.
Right. If you're playing a burn deck that wants to execute its own plan, you don't really care about a deck that's not going to. A deck playing reactive, as long as you force them to play reactive, you don't really care what they're doing. Goes for the Crimson Sorcery on face into nothing else instead.
Very interesting play. Not sure why. Using the extra play points on the Halo Golem this turn would free up next turn to play Levi plus the Crimson Sorcery. So not sure what the idea behind that turn was.
Definitely interesting. And here we actually see, I think, the alternative 6 play point play. Never mind, he's going to gen instead. I was gonna say I think he may have been going for dog in the scripture, but Jen is just going to be the play instead. This actually flips a lot of aggression onto Kair.
This is a ton, especially with the Evo here.
Yeah, this is a ton of damage.
Very good card for those of you who don't know. 6 play point 5/5 deals 2 to everything in play, and everything that survives gets +2/+0. So very good aggressive and defensive card depending on the board state.
He just slapped Kair for 10. The entire amount that Kair has been working the entire game to get onto Sprayquaza, and Sprayquaza just in one turn slaps it onto him.
And there's like not a real way to actually deal with the board here. I think this is just it.
Yeah, like, Sprayquaza noticed that Kair was out of evolves and just kind of went in. Like, said, "Okay, you're out of evolves. Come at me, kid." Like,
I think the only play here is a Wizardess with a prayer for a mutagenic bolt. As I think that's the only thing he can really hope for here.
Which is scary, pretty spoopy. Then he didn't get it. That's not it.
That's just game. Wow.
That's just game.
Not how I expected this game to go at all.
Kair just got the game stolen right out from under him.
Dark John plus Tin Soldier. It's too much damage.
What I call
deep.
Very well played from Sprayquaza.
2-turn
Alright,
kill
so Kair Package is going to have to go back to the drawing board. Yeah, Tin Soldier's very good. Dealing 3 damage on Evolve, becoming a 5/6, very big follower. So now we're going to have to see if Sprayquaza can use his rune deck to finish out both Dragon and the rune deck from Kair Package. We'll see if he's got what it takes.
I imagine Kair Package just leads back out with rune here. I don't think you. Do you want the dragon? I mean, you got to play it anyway if you win, but I don't think you want to deal with that.
Yeah,
just yet.
that's always the weird question about it. It's like you have to win with both decks, so it doesn't really matter. So realistically, the only thought would be I really want to take a break from this deck because it's tilting me a little bit or something like that, so I can play something else and then get a fresh game with it later. But in this matchup, I haven't really.
Like, so.
Yeah, this is like neutral rune versus burn rune. I'm not really sure. I haven't played this matchup very much, but I'd have to say that neutral rune probably has a slight edge, just because it has a lot of 2-for-1s without evolution orbs. But being on the play of the draw could also be super important, so this will be an interesting game to watch. Kair Package's hand not very proactive on the play, though. A lot of amulets.
Yeah, it looks really weird. He does have Demonic Strike, but Demonic Strike's literally just a bad Halo Golem. So
usually something you want to draw off of Wizardess so that you can end the game with, not something you really want your opening hand.
Or at least have a Wizardess in your hand to make it 1. It's pretty bad when it costs 4 play points.
Yep. Alright, so Care Package being on the play, being the defensive player with his aggressive deck, unfortunately. Not the spot he wants to find himself in, I'm sure.
Which sometimes happens in Shadowverse. You know, you're stuck on the play and you just don't draw the cards you need on the play. Sprayquaza, on the other hand, just has an amazing hand.
A lot of stuff to do. That's one of the benefits of Neutral Rune in general, is just you're playing a bunch of followers that all have value. You're not really playing anything that just dirtles around.
Which is great, because dirtling is bad.
Dirtling is bad, especially in this game. This is a very fast-paced game, and if you dirtle on your turns, you're going to get pretty far behind.
Done for.
It's like Sprayquaza is going to go for the Time War Mage Levi, evolve here into probably Crimson Sorcery onto the Halo Golem, into the Goblin.
Yep.
Just get that value down.
Preserves the 4/4 body. That was a decent draw. At least now he can clear board easily and solve a follower in play. I like this.
That was
He could go Magic Illusions. Yeah, decent. He can go Magic Illusionist, evolve into the Levi plus Piercing Rune. He could play Red Hot Ritual this turn as well, but I think dealing the extra 2 with Piercing Rune when you can is good. And then saving the Sigils in hand just in case you do draw something you want to use with it later and not just get eaten up by the Magic Illusionist.
If he does use the this already existing Sigil, though, and doesn't pre-place another one, like Evolving the Illusionist would do, then a Calamitous Curse is not playable on curve next turn.
That's true.
If he needs to. He may not need to, though.
Really depends, too, because if he does play the other Sigil and then Sprayquaza deals with the Magic Illusionist again, it will still remove the Sigil, though. So this will be an interesting choice for Sprayquaza on his turn on what he wants to do here.
I imagine the heads-up Hector immediately onto Illusionist Evolve is going to be the play here.
I like this. Yeah, completely removing Magic Illusionist from the equation. Very good to do when you can. Plus it pops the Sigil in a way that Care Package doesn't really have any advantage from. So
very quick to make that play, especially when Care was going into 6 play points. Calamitous Curse comes online, but so does Master Mage Levi and Professor Taboos. So all cards you don't want to have an Earth Sigil to eat.
That's right, and all of which don't really do much this turn. So I really think that Red Hot Ritual plus either a Halo Golem or Piercing Rune or Demonic Strike will be the play this turn, just to get another Sigil in play, but Care Package not really having any gas to be able to deal the 20 points of damage he needs to win this game with.
Right. When you look at Care Package's hand, you're like, whatever, his hand's whatever, you know? But we're on turn 6, and his opponent is at 20 life still, so that's huge.
And technically they're both playing aggressive decks, but right now they've just been playing the value game. Unfortunately for Care Package, all of Sprayquaza's cards in hand actually generate a ton of value. He's got 2 refill mechanics now, he's got a Hector to push, he's got a Feria plus an Evolution Orb to present a big board on a turn that he wants to. He just has a lot of options here.
I think Care's going to be pushed into the board clear situation again, which is just not what he wants to be doing.
Nope. I think he might save the Calamitous Curse yet another turn just for a bigger board. Like, he might just go, like, simple Piercing Rune pass here and not even do anything else, just to see what Sprayquaza does to get, like, a huge value Calamitous Curse out.
That's true. He can't afford to, never mind. I was gonna say he can't afford the Halo Golem with that Earthright, but he goes for it.
Now, this play basically turns off Calamitous Curse from being big value, because Calamitous Curse without an Earth Sigil in play only removes followers or banishes followers with 2 defense or less from play, whereas the Sigiled version would remove 5 or less, which is basically what most of Sprayquaza's hand is.
That Felice was a perfect draw, slapping for 3 completely and then evolving for free. She was enhanceable this turn.
Yeah, absolutely perfect draw with the 3 neutrals to clear out the board. And now I don't know what care package can draw really off the top to just deal with the value that Sprayquaza has, period. Like, I know he said it before, but now he's just in a situation where he just doesn't have anything. He's just gonna try to burn face and hope to top deck for the win.
It looks like the plan, yeah. Demonic Strike going face instead of onto Felice. You would advertise Calamitous Curse pretty hard, but at least you would have a way of clearing her if your opponent flooded the board, so...
That is true. Okay, Wizard is coming out.
She doesn't draw anything, though, since Crimson Sorcerer wasn't played first.
I kind of like that, though, basically expecting that Wizardess to die anyway, so not a potential card being discarded. Alright, here's the swing turn. Wizardess was a great draw.
Red Hot Ritual into Calamitous Curse is good.
Very good. Very good. Wizardess Savage showing just how powerful she is here in a situation where you think you can't do anything. Redrawing up to 5 cards, pretty good. Making that Calamitous Curse only cost 1.
Yeah, also turning spells into 1 is really strong.
Especially 6 play point ones.
I think Care might be sandbagging his options here a little bit, since there's realistically nothing else he can do.
Yep. Making sure to get the Witch's Cauldron out first, though, just because of the ordering of the sigils, so that he can draw a card once that one gets broken faster. Very good.
That way Master Mage Levi next turn will draw a card. And this is already settled. This flipped pretty hard onto Sprayquaza. He has Hector as a ward, but...
Okay, opting for the Mutagenic Bolt this turn, I would imagine, if Wizardess is the opening play.
1 play point now, even though the overlay said it was 6, and he now has a -2, but he still has 3 left to work with.
Yeah, the game doesn't understand Wizardess of Oz.
-5 mana, how does he do it?
How does he do it?
It's a good representation. That's a good representation of what the Oz did for him. Ramped him for 5 and
Piercing Rune, perfect draw here. Lets him clear the board again while dealing damage. Oh my goodness.
Into a Demonic
Strike. One
Strike.
Wizardess of Oz. I said I didn't know what he could draw, but Wizardess apparently. Good enough.
Death is another fiction.
Wow, this game's super flipped with that Wizardess. How amazing.
She's a pretty good card. I mean,
On the warfield, a shining
pretty good.
Hector coming down 3. I think he's gonna go for just a flood this turn and hope that he doesn't die.
Yep, here's the top deck. If Kara can get 2 more damage here, win the game. That was
2 more
it.
damage. He just
There
won
he
the
goes.
game.
Dance of Death. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Wow. Care package. My man. Getting that top deck, Wizardess. Awesome.
Care package may or may not have just been the luckiest Shadowverse player I've ever witnessed. Maybe.
Not only getting the Wizardess, but Wizardess into a way to clear the entire board.
Into just damage. He just kept drawing damage there, too. Like, he didn't break his 1-drops or 2-drops that don't do anything. He just kept drawing spells.
Yep. All good, all the time. Alright, now it comes down to... He was destined to win. The Dragon versus the Rune deck. Let's see if Neutral Rune on the draw a little bit harder. If Care Package gets a nice little ramp curve here, might be really hard for Neutral Rune to win. But Neutral Rune, again, as we see, has a lot of refill tools in Wizardess and things like that. So,
Blazing Breath is not as good on the play as it is on the draw, but it doesn't really matter. It's just going to do the same thing it would have in the first place.
So, Care Package's hand doesn't look great yet, but Dragon can always top deck just ramp. That's all he really needs at this point. He's got a bunch of 10s in his hand and 9. So this might spell doom if he doesn't get anything.
His hand is expensive. Ooh, Ayala into Blazing Breath. What a top deck.
Perfect draw. 2/2 that when it dies ramps.
Seems Care Package is keeping up his tradition of top decking exactly what he needs.
Yep. Let's see if it continues.
And Sprayquaza, even though he was on the draw there, he played that Levi out because he needs something on the board to attack. Like Ramp Dragon, you cannot let them just play the game. Like you have to be aggressive as possible.
Yep. So Care Package getting yet another ramp card in the form of another Ayala that he can evolve next turn to ramp yet again. So drawing, like you said, exactly what he needs.
He's already on 7. Sprayquaza's on 4 play points, and Care Package is at 7 play points. If he draws Sahaquil, Israfil is devastating.
Even an evolved Ayala here is pretty good because that'll put him on 9 play points. Like with on the turn that he gets to use his second evolution orb, he could be evolving Israfil already.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, he's on 9 play points now.
And for those of you who don't know, Israfil is Redonkadonk.
Oh.
Okay, it's 9 play points for a big 8/8 beastie. When it comes into play, you gain 4 health, and whenever it attacks, it deals 2 damage to every enemy. It's pretty strong.
Care Package opting not to kill the Levi there to ramp. And he probably won't play the Grimner either. I imagine you don't... Protecting your Ayala is like the opposite of what you need. You want her to die. And Grimner is also a board wipe on 10, so...
Yeah, I'm not sure why not the ramp there, because if Sprayquaza makes the heads-up play of just ignoring the Ayala, then Care Package actually doesn't have a relevant play for next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Very
His hand
interesting
is
choice, especially...
quite the brick.
You follow behind.
Hector onto a
Yeah,
1-2.
It's like Sprayquaza knows. He's like, I'm going to keep you away from that as long as possible,
no!
but the top decks... Sahaquil basically allows Care Package to cheat one of the neutral followers from his hand into play, and it gains Rush for that turn, and then gets bounced back to hand at the end of turn. So it could use that with the Israfil or the Bahamut, or Queen of the Dreadsea, actually, to do some damage.
You want to kill your Ayala off this turn so you can ensure that you're on 10 next turn. Realistically, because no flooding happened, the Sahaquil doesn't matter what she summons, as long as it's not Grimner.
Right. Grimner doesn't do anything, except for jam into a follower and die.
So crude.
It's not very useful. It's going to choose to reveal the Israfil here.
Unbelievable.
Now, to be fair, I have definitely Sahaquilled Grimners in the past when I've had to, but it's not what you want to be doing. Definitely not the optimal place.
He popped his last evolve to protect Ayala on the board.
Unbelievable.
I feel like Care Package is just... He's playing Ramp Dragon, the opposite of what most players would do.
Yeah, I don't mind this now because he actually does have a 9 play point play. The turn before didn't really make that much sense, but he did top deck out of it.
I've got to take a break.
Sprayquaza donated it to him.
Oh, this is easy Polyphonic Roar in my book. Or this is easy, actually. Queen of the Dreadsea into Israfil Polyphonic Roar. This is like an insane turn if he just wants to pop it. And I think this is the turn to do it.
Queen
I think that's an insane
Dreads.
play.
Yeah, that's pretty strong. You're also playing a deck that can really abuse 10 play points, so it's not like your top decks are ever bad here. So, whoa!
Goes with the Bahamut. Okay, not bad.
I'm sorry.
Just a different way about
That
going
pops
to do it.
your own queen. I guess he's trying to set up a lethal.
Yeah, this does set up an easy lethal, actually, without a Mutagenic Bolt or a Dance, but Sprayquaza does have the Mutagenic Bolt. However, even as such, that Polyphonic Roar is going to end the game right quick and in a hurry. Summoning a 5/5 with Storm every single turn.
A 5/5 dragon with Storm.
That's true.
Turn.
That's true. It is a dragon.
There are dragons.
If you like dragons,
Sprayquaza
Polyphonic Roar makes
evolving.
them.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it wouldn't be the worst, because the rats, the flame rats that get left over by Mutagenic Bolts actually deal extra damage. So at the beginning of the turn, flame rats will deal a damage to both players, and then it gets to attack for one itself. So that's actually 2 damage sitting on the board, not just 1.
And then you also have to add it to that 5/5 dragon popping out, so... Breath of the Salamander, not amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't need to use that this turn if he doesn't want to.
No.
Might want to save it for a potential Hector. Decides not to, though. Okay. This is it. Okay. Dance of Death allows him to stay alive for another turn.
Yeah, the dragons do. If this 5/5's not removed somehow, then it does set up lethal. But I mean, it is just a 5/5.
That's true. And there is an evolution orb left, so Lyriel could have taken it out. Angel of the Word could have taken it out. So definitely options for that. Even Levy, but Dance of Death makes it clean. So I'd kind of like to see a Dance of Death plus Flood this turn, because it's really the only thing you can do. You're kind of on limited time now.
Dance of Death
Yeah,
flood into
you can't
what, though?
really
You
flood.
can only play one follower.
Yeah, right. You're right. You're right.
Flood
Maybe
for
not.
20%
Okay, so
of the
maybe...
board.
Yeah. Maybe you go, like, Angel of the Word into... your 2/2 drops, your 2 other neutral 2 drops. You evolve the Faria to finish off the dragon with the Angel Ping, just to set up as big a board as you possibly can. But still, that's not going to be enough with the Dance of Death to finish off next turn, so... It's really just Sprayquaza trying to figure out what can he top deck to actually close the game out.
Sprayquaza does have to play to win at this point, but I don't know if he even has an option for that.
Okay, so he's opting with the play that I was talking about.
Like a bird, I sing.
This will set up a
Just gonna put the
potential
most
8
stats on
damage
board.
next turn. Yep.
Yeah. Unless Grimner
Grimner,
used
off
to
the
be
teasy.
lethal, but it's not. It's not lethal.
Not
Care
quite
Package
lethal.
sitting back, crossing his arms,
He's
letting
like,
the
I got
value of his
this.
deck play for itself. Yeah.
That's right.
Ooh, sparkly stuff. Gimme.
Yeah, that's gonna be game. Nothing Sprayquaza can do here.
5/5 Storm
Care
Dragon
Package
on the way.
taking it down with Queen of the Dread Sea, just as Rainey said, doing its thing.
Queen of the Dread Sea gives Care Package the 2-1 win, and it looks like in this particular case it did end up overtaking the potential of what Neutral Rune had to offer. Now in this scenario,